two incidents within a few days. The one with Akwa Ibom and Ibom here, and then the one involving Kwamwan. I think Nigerians generally should learn a lesson from this, that where your right ends is where another person's right begins. And that as citizen, as you said in your introduction, you have both rights, you also have responsibilities. And if you violate the law, you will be sanctioned for it. Now all this, I apologize, I beg, they don't do that in other jurisdictions. The same people who misbehave here, they will not do it in Heathrow. They will not do so at Washington Dulles. When they are among organized people, they behave very well. Now what we're witnessing is the danger of this mentality, the big man syndrome, and the "do you know who I am?" assumption of many Nigerians. I think it's important for Nigeria to continue to insist on best practices and the rule of law. If you do the crime, you do the time. The fact that you know the president or you can write an apology is totally irrelevant, because you can't do that in better organized societies. I know some people will say, well, Kwamwan has apologized, we should forget and forgive and go on. No. There should be some level of sanction to teach other Nigerians who would like to go to airports tomorrow, whether it's Ibomia or another airline, to say, do you know who I am? Now I go to the lady. This lady, she was told to switch off her phone. And then they said she got angry, engaged in an altercation with the crew official, and she made for the fire extinguisher to hit the lady. I mean, it was on the basis of that airline officials and security moved her out. I've seen some comments, some people were saying, why did they expose her breast? Why did they? No, that's immaterial. It's our offense. That is the issue. Because both persons, both the lady and Kwamwan, they endangered the lives of other passengers. They disrupted airline operations. But I think the big issue here is the lesson that other people should learn. Because they saw the Kwamwan one, they say, oh, he's a big one. Then look at a lady, we don't even know her identity. I hope they will tell us who she is, what gives her the effrontery to want to hold up airline operations in that kind of disrespectful and idiotic manner. So I don't want to condemn the airline. I just want to say to every passenger, both now and in the future, to know that there are rules. This is a country based on the rule of law, on rules and regulations, and you must respect the rules. This is the reason why people drive on, what do they call it, one lane against the flow of traffic. And they will do it with impunity. This is why people will refuse to pay tax, and they will do it with impunity.
The question is,
there's a lot of lawlessness here.
Doesn't government officials drive on one lane?
No, all of us. So it's everybody.
It comes from the
It's top. A Nigerian affliction.
Do politicians even respect the laws in this land?
Okay, it's a Nigerian affliction.
Doesn't government officials drive on one lane,
yes,
one way?
It does not justify.
Are they supposed to break the law?
No. The fact that other people are doing it, and so I can also do it, is not a defense in law.
It's not a defense in law.
He's a man that is caught, that is a criminal. So the important thing is that the moral firmament framework in this country requires everybody to respect the law. Otherwise, nobody has the right to come and say, I'm a big man, I'm entitled, I'm privileged. There's no such thing.
Absolutely. We'll definitely keep following that story as we learn more about the identity of the woman. But now, moving on to the management of Olusegun, former President Olusegun Obasanjo's presidential library, where they're demanding an apology from the EFCC after the library says the EFCC arrived on the premises hotel section in a, quote, Gestapo-like operation that injured a number of people in the early hours of Sunday morning. In a statement, the presidential library says, quote, the invasion caused serious panic and chaos, leading to serious injuries among participants trying to escape the shooting, and that near carnage that resulted and caused terror among residents on the site. So it comes after the EFCC, for their part, says that suspects were arrested in a sting operation on Sunday. It happened because, according to the EFCC, they had credible intelligence about all of the suspects' involvement in internet crimes, and they reportedly arrested a number of young people, seized luxury cars, mobile devices, and other valuable items. All in all, the Presidential Library right now wants an official apology from the EFCC for causing all of this in what they said was, quote, gangster-like induced chaos. And, you know, by the sound of it, this was a sting operation that became very violent very quickly. So I'll take your reaction to this story.
You see, exactly, Dr. Abati, this is your answer. You see, when I tell you that these anomalies, this madness comes from the top echelons in this country, you argue with me just, but this is, in what same country? Maybe we can say for America, because America is no longer seen under Trump. This is what an ICE will do. But in what same country that has a democracy? You have an intel or someone, you come in a sting operation. You start to shoot sporadically in a place. Enter Gestaporic style. Because you want to pick up people. Endangering the lives of other guests that are there. If stray bullets had hit people now, and you see in all of this, EFCC will never take responsibility. It's not today the video. Do you see the video that was making the rounds about that woman that they broke into, they were looking for somebody that was living in the same block of flats. They broke into her, they destroyed her television set and destroyed many things, and they went like that. It's not today. So when we are talking about everybody must respect it, like everybody, I answer you, Dr. Abati. But in what sane country? You have traveled far and wide. In what sane country? You have other people you are going to track, then you go into the place, disrupt people's livelihood in the name of going to do a bust operation. In what sane country do you have people, politicians come out to say how they rig election and everybody's looking at them today? In what sane country do you have people committing all sorts of atrocious activity? In what same country do you have top politicians like Oshomole disrupting airlines? Till today, nothing has been done because, you know, it's your word against mine. In what same country do you have people even telling airlines in some cases to wait that big man is coming, so they delay flights because big man is coming? So sometimes we talk as if Nigeria is a sane country. All of these things come from the top. In a country where the leadership shows a level of piety, respect for the law, definitely things will move better. It's because we have leaders that are not showing respect for the law, and people are learning so quick from these leaders. And as they learn so quick from these leaders, things move on. The issues that the EFCC is supposed to sort out, you hardly get anything from that. Is it not the same EFCC chief that was back? Oh, if we don't bring with the evidence we have against Yahya Bello today, where are we on that case? So, Dr. Abati, with due respect, you and I know, except you want to pontificate, that is not a sane country. You only respect the rule of law if you are not in power. Once you are in power and have affiliation, people violate the rule of law. But it must start with the leaders first, because it permeates into the people. So that's the point. Look at it again.
Well, while the argument about leadership by example is very valid, it's also valid to say that as a citizen, you don't have the right under the laws of the country to say because our leaders are misbehaving, I will also misbehave. Because a commissioner of police will drive against traffic, let me also drive against traffic. No, that kind of argument cannot hold, within the framework, within the theory, within what we know. But however, leaders behave badly. After all, Chinua Achebe said many years ago that leadership is the problem. Now to go directly to the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library. Now, Vitalis Otes, who is the managing director of the OOPL, is alleging, and the issues they are raising is, 1, invasion of private property. 2, violation of the rights of OOPL as a private, corporate concern. 3, the violation of the fundamental human rights of the persons who were at the venue on that day, many of them who, as a result of the chaos, got injured, panicked and all that. And the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, they have said, as a corporate entity, they will make appropriate representations to the authorities to protest that this is not the way to act. One, they said no warrant was presented to empower the EFCC to egress in or egress out of the premises. You can't just invade somebody's premises. That's what they are saying. Now, EFCC says, well, on the other hand, they had contacted the police station and that they had some kind of combined operation. Well, OOPL says that is not true. Three, they said they were acting on an intelligence tip-off that some Yahoo boys, internet fraudsters, were there, and that in Abeokuta they arrested about 10. Between Lagos and Abeokuta, they arrested about 90. So the question to raise here is that EFCC will have to respond to these allegations about the modalities of their operation and about what particularly transpired at the Obasanjo Presidential Library. Because here there's an institution, whose reputation is also being called to question. Because the insinuation is that they are saying, oh, that premises is like a haven for fraudsters. And they say that is not true. Mm-hmm. So the second issue is about the operation. Mm-hmm. So I think the ball is in the court of the EFCC to provide necessary clarifications and to respond to the posers that have been raised. Now, they said one Olakpade was the man who led the operation. Who is this Olakpade EFCC team lead who was saying he will shoot people, he will commit any atrocity? The only takeaway is that, well, EFCC is saying we are no respecter of persons. If it is indeed true that the persons who invaded the premises were EFCC officials, not some people in borrowed garments, they are saying, well, whether you are a former president or you are a top musician or whoever you are, we will do our job. That's the only part of it. But there are procedural issues that have been raised by Vitalis Otes that should be responded to.